As they're getting set to receive this kickoff, as De Leon will set up the ball at the 40-yard line. Ricky, most improvements you've seen since from last year to this year, what's the one thing you've been most impressed with? Probably strength and work ethic. Takes a grand sling roll and another grand sling roll. They're going to mark it dead at the 30-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. And a 44-yard punt. Yeah. Carroll was punting in pre-game, Ricky, and there was a sophomore that was kicking as well in Austin Fisher. There was a sophomore running back in DB. He was booting 50, 55 yards, but talking to Coach Carver before the game, he was only doing it about every fourth punt. So the inconsistency he's trying to work on, right?
That might explain why we were 60 yards behind the line of scrimmage with our deep guy. I've been trying to figure that out for 10 years, I think.
Well, they probably thought 29 was punting, but Carroll's into punt. J.P. Bigham sets him up. First series for the Mineola Yellow Jackets. Little quarterback draw. Bounces outside, crossing the 30-yard line. Pursuit and nice tackle in the open field as Dylan Johnson comes up from the safety position to tackle Bigham after gain of 2.
You're going to see play number 3 carry the ball 25, 30 times tonight. Talking to Coach Lawrence this week, he said they're going to get a heavy dose of the quarterback position. JP last week in the third and fourth quarter went back to that and gashed some big runs with was the first real sign of life in the offense for the Yellow Jackets.
Ricky, you know, too, that this kid actually can handle this, too. Whether he's throwing the ball 10, 12 times a game or running the ball 15, 20 times a game, it's not something he can't handle. Inside handoff will go. Big hole, 35, down to the 37-yard line. Nice pickup by Jesus Ortiz.
First time he's carried the ball all year, I believe.
We haven't really, a lot of people don't recognize his name, but he sets up almost like in slot back, and Ortiz picks up a gain of about 6-7 yards.
They call that play 22 dart, I believe is what I heard them calling it. And you may see that 3 or 4 times because on the JV level last night, Grand Saline never defended that play very well. They scored on it twice, but that's a big game. So I imagine you're going to see it early.
So they're going to go ahead and call an official's time.
He probably stands about that tall. If you measure him from the top of his helmet, he is huge.
Aaron Bryant, who's on our sideline tonight, was talking about Chris, about this kid looking like a great football player. Big him in the shotgun, makes a handoff. He's rolling. He'll come to his right side. He's going to run out of the league. He runs a long way before he stops and turns around. I think he started working. Turned it in.
There about number 12. 12 Carroll coming down the wing period for yards. JP picks up 4 yards there on that run. And Shaggy is good at running a dive for 4 yards. I think you're going to see a lot more of that because when a quarterback puts that kind of pressure on the linebacker, if you ever do get a linebacker blocked, it's a big play. Mineola's had that against him the last couple of weeks.
First time he'll be under center, turns around, gets the back, deep in the back to the left side. Baker all around, crossing midfield, 25.
Touchdown, Mineola, big up to number
Johnson's hands and had it around the 34-yard line.
If he made a good move, Dustin Stevenson, he broke down on him. He made a move around him, and luckily the ball came out, or he may have gotten to him 4 yards. So now Brian down here by Kenny, and he had at least 5, 6, if not 10 yards. yards. But that was just a big play, even though he did get juked up a little bit. Dustin did a good job of getting his handle down.
And you got to be a pro too. There was a strike out here on a pass. A lot of times we'll throw a quarterback on him. Inside door, you got to catch up and a broken tackle. Larkin had him at about the 15. Broke that tackle, and Everett had to come back and make the touchdown saving tackle at the 5. It's a flag,
But it's on the Yellow Jackets, so it won't be declined. I tell you what, you've seen this drive that's sustained. All of a sudden, the Yellow Jackets, instead of hitting it point of contact, they're back into that trying to catch them deal. And Doherty's getting 5-6 yards, and they're not being able to catch him.
Well, and this looks like a totally different Grand Saline team than what we saw 2 weeks ago against Van.
Absolutely.
And nothing to take anything away from Corey Fowler, but it just seems like Hammersley has just a whole totally different gear when he's behind the center.
Well, anytime you deal with a 12th grader instead of a 10th grader, it should make a difference.
Sure, turn around, hand off Doherty. Doherty gets smashed at about the 5-yard line and will fall forward. Line of scrimmage was the 7. Go ahead, Rick.
No, these kind of drives right here, when you get birds and go from the 5, are huge for teams like the Yellow Jackets and the Indians. The Indians poke it in, they leave feeling good. There's also a chance for defense to step up.
Well, Doherty right now, 7 carries, 47 yards, and most of this coming right here in this particular drive. Set up wide to the right side, goes Dallas Weaver, far to the left side. Full house backfield, hand off to Doherty. He'll follow his 2, crossing the 5, down and around the 1. No indication yet. They're standing right on the goal line. They will mark him down at the half-yard line.
Yeah, it's close. The referee standing looks like on the line.
Standing on the goal line. Former Yellow Jackets.
Clinic is a full-service vet clinic for large or small animals. Mobile and emergency services are available, as well as climate-controlled boarding for small animals. The Lake Country Animal Clinic
Setting up a 10-yard line, snap is back.
test because sometimes they see something different, and you just want to make sure they know what you're doing.
You bet. Bigham waits for the cutback. Gives it to Ortiz, and Ortiz has got no running room as the Grand Saline defense is really stiffening up here as they will drop him for about a yard loss.
Look at that little wingback counter, that 22 darts we were talking about early on, and it was so slow developing there. If they sniff it out, they stuff it, and that's what happened at that time.
Well, that's the only thing too, Rick. Even from up here, if you've got to find a way to get the Reds a second.
Number 44, Dickerson.
I'm not real sure if that's going to be unnecessary roughness on the Yellow Jackets or a late hit on the Grand Saline Indians.
No, it was on Bo. It was a great effort. Moses Fuller ran from his
Personal foul, Mineola.
It wasn't like a vicious late hit. It was a blocking and shoved it in, but he killed a 15-yard run. Well, it was a huge run for... It's all about confidence. I don't think Tuck has played since 7th grade. It's about getting back into the game.
It's a 42-yard pass reception on a 3rd and 24. First and 10 Yellow Jackets from the Grand Saline 14. From underneath, good defensive pressure by Heath Holly. Holly Glenn Hampton. It's waned a bit over the years because of the effects of college football, pro football. Everybody's wanting to hit you up high and make it look
1 yard carry for him. Brings up second and 9.
Good form.
You hit Alex up high, he gets through. Oh, yeah. You hit him below, he goes down.
Well, Epps is going to split out wide to the left in the 3-receiver slot. It's Bigham in the backfield with Larkin. Epps comes in motion. Bigham will take it. He'll just run to the right. Inside the 5 to about the 3.
Yeah, good speed to the outside. Larkin got out there and at least got in the way. I mean, he didn't knock anybody down, but he was enough in the way. His ability to get outside. Good pursuit by the left quarterback to keep him from scoring.
Well, guys, they were coming right at me. Let me tell you, big number 11, Jonathan Larkin, for a big tall kid, he was able to get down on the ground real easily and do a little kind of like his guy, the defensive back. Not just
it's a 9-yard pickup for J.P. Bigham as he takes the ball from 13 down to the 4.
I tell you, talk about Larkin, he's probably the fastest guy on the Yellow Jackets team to be so tall.
Way out wide to the left. First man through it. And I think Epps gets the carry, no indication yet. He'll take it down around the 1-yard line.
Number 20,
probably 2 more times at least. Well, Alex Epps. Epps has worked an awful lot even since being a coach.
Well, I'm standing at the 2-2, and it looks like that's where the ball's at, so.
Okay. Bigham turns around, hands off, first man.
Number 20, touchdown, Mineola.
Pretty much telegraphed. When they came in tight, they were going to the big boy. The Reds was telling me today that we only have 3 guys on the Mineola football team that are over 200 pounds.
3 over 200.
And he's one of them.
Well, I think Alex probably likes that. Yeah. Let's see, benches like, what, 480 pounds or something?
For the point after touchdown.
Just put the Yellow Jackets point. Spot is down. De Leon kicks it up. And it's way back there.
And it's good.
That's surprising that they went for one there. I guess a 44-yard touchdown pass from Bigham to Ortiz back in the first quarter.
It's been the deal for the Yellow Jackets, a big play. The Indians have put together drives, and the Yellow Jackets have converted third and long.
De Leon kicks it off. He'll go right side once again. It'll be taken, line up back at the 32-yard line. Actually, I think it's Doherty that comes up with it. He'll cross the 40 and get forced out of bounds at around the 41-yard line.
I'll tell you, it's a good field position for both teams after the kicks. The kicks are not being real effective.
De Leon is, he wasn't known last year for kicking it deep. He kicks it relatively short and tries to go ahead and allow the kick return team or the kick team to get down and get some good coverage.
And one thing about where he kicked at, about the 40 is about as far as they're ever going to get back. So, you know, it's a trade-off.
A couple of first quarter scores once again. White Oak leading Reigns 7-6 in the first quarter, and Overton with a 13-12 lead over Alpha Golden right now. The Panthers trailing by 1. Como picked him with a 20-19 lead over Harmony after the first quarter. I'll update you on all those scores here in a moment.
Yeah, I don't know if the Yellow Jackets interior line is getting blown off the ball after the first possession. They were penetrating, and all of a sudden, Carroll did not get touched until he was hit 15 yards down the field.
Well, that was a nice trap block, like you said, but also it looked like Hamilton looked back at Carroll, and it's almost like it was simultaneously that as Hamilton was looking back, Carroll realized he could be another yard up, and that may have made the entire difference on that run.
May have, because the hole opened up pretty quick. Hammersley sets him up at the 44-yard line of Mineola. Turn around, hands off Doherty. Doherty gets popped in the backfield. Great defensive play back there. And I'm pretty sure, if I can get my list down here, Matt York, I think, made the play. The senior defensive tackle comes in, and York gets him a pop in the backfield.
I tell you, a kid who has made monumental strides. Matt York has came out of nowhere this year. I mean, in the classroom, in the hallway, he has completely turned around himself.
Matt was a young man you're talking about pretty good.
Right. Incredible job.
Kudos to Matt York, who's playing backup behind Jeff White and playing spectacular football right now. Blitz is on.
He ran the ball 10 yards, 7-8 yards after he stepped out of bounds. It's hard to tell a kid when he sees a kid still running not to hit him. That's a pretty tough call to make.
Well, that's why they have sidelines.
Yeah.
Well, Hamilton did a push right there as he tried to get to the sidelines, but Hamilton just wouldn't go, and so as he must have stepped out. Then when he did, York made the fine play the play before. He's the one actually leaves out of bounds, and he's going to be the one that's responsible for getting that 15 after taking away 3.
And you obviously, you don't want to stop on that because if a guy is, you know, you can't take time to look at the sideline. You know, Grand Sling on the first down after a 15-yard personal foul penalty against the Indians. Whistle will blow, and then they will reset. Offensive player will procedure against the Indians.
It's hard to pause anybody there. The Indians went in motion, but the ball hadn't been set yet. So the ref pushed the whistle, which threw everybody off. Then the ref blew it again to start the play. That's a tough play for a lineman.
Well, I'm not real sure why they didn't either reset or back up, because the whistle blew and Hammersley just barely came out of center, repositioned a running back, and then turned around and started his cadence again.
Right, exactly. It threw everybody off. So that's just one of those tough plays.
And Matthew Johnson actually comes set for a second because it looked like he ran over there, almost got down in position, and then just started running again. Did he actually come
I think he did.
Hammersley turns around, hands off, first man through, crossing the 35-yard line. We'll see who'll take that handoff. We'll think it was Carroll. Fuller comes in to make the stop.
I'm having a hard time with Grant Saline. Grant
Hammersley's got white jerseys on. Their orange numbers are outlined in black, but their numbers are considerably smaller than the numbers on the back of them.
Yeah, they're little. You're right.
Of the Yellow Jacket jerseys.
Well, Fuller, as he brought the guy down, he was also trying to strip it out, so that's a good job of him, not only making the tackle, but maybe trying to make something happen as well.
Okay, it was Carroll with the carry. They give him no gain. 2nd and 13. Hammersley drops back the pass. Flare out 35-yard line. Open field back. The Jones gets it up. Tripping ball. De Leon, I think, was the man.
I think it was Kincaid, the 5, but great effort there by the other Hammersley, Clint. Staying up, got a good 6 yards just because he put his hand down and didn't quit.
Clint Hammersley with the 6-yard reception down at the 29-yard line. That was set up after the penalty. A third, and we'll say 8 yards.
But I'll tell you, Kenny, from my position at the high school, you're able to tell a lot about these kids. And William Kincaid is another remarkable story. They're just all of a sudden this year blossomed, maturity and everything.
Man in motion, Indians. Hand off, first man through. Cody Cross from 38.
Number 20, Alex Phelps, defensively for the Yellow Jackets.
7-yard line. Eps in with the tackle.
And Louis De Leon, number 4.
Number 12, Harold Cross.
Good job of slicing through and keeping him in the game any more than he did. It's been amazing, though. There's been about 5 or 6 kids that you just almost would have wrote off that have just blossomed this year. This new program and all this, they've just blossomed. Let me tell you, it makes my job a lot easier walking the halls of Mineola.
Absolutely. Yeah, Ricky, the kids are showing it, too. I hope that the support comes from the other entities of the community as well. Hammersley, broken play again, throws an incomplete.
Waved it off. And a sophomore makes another play for the Yellow Jackets.
Jonathan Larkin.
That's exactly what he did. That ball looked like it was just going to die, and he came out of nowhere, cut in front of the receiver, and just picked it up off his. It looked like his toes. Forget shoestrings. That was toes.
I thought it was on the ground.
I'm not real sure who the intended receiver was, but Larkin, I think, may have been the only one on the field that knew the ball was coming his way. Picked it up off the turf and took it 70 yards for the interception return and the 6. So the Yellow Jackets up 19-7. De Leon will try to make it 20. Spotted down by Bigham. Soccer style kicker. It is just wide again. De Leon line the end zone in a rather unorthodox way they haven't seen this year on the interception return by Jonathan Larkin with 6:20 to go in the first half.
And one thing about it, if you start getting guys like Tuck and Larkin, the big guys, get a little confidence, the Yellow Jackets are in for a good little run.
Kickoff is taken at the 22-yard line. Carroll will take it up to the 25 and knock down at the 25-yard line with help from De Leon, the kicker. It's returned up by Justin Jones. Carroll will set up the Grandstand Indians first and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
I tell you what, Tuck just put out there, was all over the running back, and then tackled him like a 6'8" guy would. Tried to grab the top of his helmet, well, he just June bugged him right out of there.
Well, some scores after the first quarter. A couple of updates for you. Como picked them once again 20-19, leading Harmony right now after Whitman is destroying Frankston after the first quarter. 28-0 the score there. White Oak with a 7-6 lead over Ken Little and the Rains Wildcats. Hammersley turns around, pitch back, going straight up the middle. Mineola defense says no way.
Number 9 came in the right side and almost caught the pitch. Good tackle by Fuller.
Kyle, is it Ramish? Ramish. Kyle Ramish is in the bottom of that pile. De Leon came in late to finish things off.
One thing you'll know about number 4 for the Yellow Jackets, he's going to get up just off of every pile. He may not get there first, but he definitely gets there.
Set up Hammersley now, 2nd and 8. Gets popped as he hits, as he lets go of the football. And I'll tell you what, game ball going to Moses Fuller in the first half. He just shellacks Hammersley just as he tries to get the ball loose. It falls incomplete.
And I'll tell you, hats off to Dylan Johnson, 6'1" senior, wide receiver. That ball was thrown back, and it was fixing to be nothing. nothing. And Johnson picks it up and almost broke it. That was a gain of 6 on a busted play.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at it and thinking the ball is dead and the play is finished as well.
And it was real fortunate for the Indians that Johnson was alert, but fortunate for the Yellow Jackets that Dustin Stevenson was alert.
Well, obviously from our vantage point, it did not look like a lateral.
No, it did. I think he got hit and bumped it back, I think.
Hammersley sets him up 3rd and 4 from the 40-yard line. Hand off Doherty. Crossing the 45. Might have enough for the first down.
Yeah, first down. The far guy's not in front of the line, behind the line. So good run there because there was really nothing there either. And Doherty just fought his way for 6.
And it's not Doherty. I believe it's going to be Dickerson with the carry. I can't see these numbers.
You
know what, Aaron? We're going to let you just call the numbers down, man.
Well, that sounds like a good idea, Kenny. I think I got a little bit better view down here. I mean, you're a lot closer. I'm glad I'm standing right here because if I was even in the stands, I wouldn't be able to tell as good as I am right here. The stands are only about maybe 20, 30 feet behind me. Yeah.
Well, 1st and 10 after the Dickerson 7-yard gain. 1st and 10, 4:10 to go in the first half. 19-7 lead for Mineola. Straight drop back Hammersley. Looking left. He's going to go to the side.
Down here, and he flew past his defender.
We have the more score. Harmony 19. I'm going to pick 20.
The coverage was very good. It had to be laid out just perfect. It was. He was able to make a good catch and run. If it hadn't been for great pursuit from the inside, he might have gone all the way. I think he fell the ball as he came down, though, so he's a little winded down there. Great play.
Tell you what, Dylan Johnson, what a spectacular example he made in the baseball playoffs a year ago. It's too long a story to tell you. Line on a 44-yard pass play, and it sets up the touchdown by Doherty from 2 yards out.
Hey, Kenny, they're calling timeout right now for incident because I think the debate for going for 2, if they can get it, it'll get them within it.
It'll go for 2, which really is a surprise to me. They're going to set it up. Doherty and Carroll in the backfield. Hammersley's got Johnson in the slot on the right side. Takes the snap. He's going to throw. Goes in. There's got a man wide open. Nothing over Frankston after one. All these first quarter scores. 8-0 Edgewood over Eustis. Cole picked the 20-40-19. 14-0 over Sabine. Gilmore with a 14-0 lead over Everett crossing the 30-yard line.
I tell you what, if you're a Yellow Jacket fan, you like kicking it deep. Even if he gets tackled with that one at the 30, you like those guys instead of your linemen catching the kickoffs.
Roderick Everett will return it to the 31-yard line, finishing up first quarter scores. Gilmer 14-0 over Lindale. Alba Golden trailing Overton 13-12 after the first quarter. Still looking for scores from Wills Point and Van, Royce City, and Winsboro. Right up with a slim 7-6 lead over the Range Wildcats tonight. Hawkins, Big Sandy would like to hear a score from them too. Big Hawkins, Big Sandy rivalry. Snap to Bigham. Hands off to Everett. No, he's going to keep the Bigham right on their side. Cross the 30, jukes inside, stays up the sideline.
Yeah, hit him about 2 feet out of bounds again. That wasn't a vicious, it was not a tip yet. He was playing.
The official is right on top of it also. And sometimes you want to grab your head and go, you know what? If it hadn't knocked little J.P. Bigham back 2 or 3 yards or something, you have to wonder if Doherty would have grabbed him to keep him from falling. Well, the official said, hey, I'm going to go throw this flag here. But those are one of those blown to tonight.
Right. And those are one of those kind of hits, kind of like the one a while ago. You hate to see it as a coach because it costs you 15. But at the same time, you can't tell your kid, don't hit him when he's still running because next time he may be in bounds.
Well, Bigham, we saw last year, did that thing last year right here in this stadium where he acted like he was going to jog out of bounds at around the 30-yard line, and the defender let up, and Bigham cut back into the field and gained more yardage.
You've got to hit him till the whistle blows.
Bigham fakes handoff. He's going to go left side. Left side. As he gets pulled down at the 30-yard line, Bigham with a big gain. Doherty will wrap him up on the field this time.
One thing about it, if you're a fan of football, it doesn't matter where you're at, watching Bigham run is fun.
Well, especially with you watching his progression from last year, and any time of you being a football junkie your whole life, like I was as well. You look at these kids and you go, man, you know what? You can just see him and you go, you know what? This kid is talented. Right. Plus, he wants to play.
That's what's fun this year about JP is he wants to play.
Snap goes back, hands off the mark. He actually fell on top of the ball on the way down. 2:45 to go in the half. Clock continues to roll.
Tell you what, if you're an Indian defender, that's what you needed. You needed a momentum stopper. Second 18 is not easy.
Well, they got it that time, and the official is going to blow the whistle and call an official's timeout as a Grand Saline player needed a little bit of help getting off the field as he was slightly injured. I think
it was Kude.
Okay.
Or Kude.
So Yellow Jackets will set up once again. It's second and long. Pitch back to Larkin. Oh, great block right there. 35-30. Knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Made that block.
Holy moly. I got to check a number real quick because William Kincaid just absolutely plastered a Grand Saline Indian, even knocked him back into a teammate.
It was like a blur.
Oh, my gosh. Kincaid came in backside almost like he had responsibilities coming down the line of scrimmage and then coming back to hit a linebacker that was bearing down on Larkin. Oh, my.
Yeah, you've seen some blows from both the Indians and the Yellow Jackets tonight. It's been a hard-hitting game.
Well, it went from a 2nd and 18 to a 3rd and 7. Make it a 3rd and 8 from the 28-yard line. 2:19 to go. Bigham keeps it himself down to the 20. Almost gets the ball ripped away, and he'll get pulled down at the 19-yard line.
That was Roger, that inside trap, number 2. And Roger almost got through there. But I'll tell you, that went from a 2nd and 18 to a 1st down. That's a big play for the Yellow Jackets. That's that slow development play that this time Roger did it faster.
He'll work it down to the 19-yard line as he'll pick up 9 on the carry. So Roderick Effort, and the running game is working for the Yellow Jackets tonight. And now they have marched their sustained drive. Hand off to Epps. Epps powers his way. Cross the 15. Down to the 13. Hard running for Epps. Once again, the same Alex Epps we've been seeing for 2 years now.
Yeah, Epps got his feet moving that time. The first 2 games, because I believe Bigham was not being able to open the offense by running, he was catching a lot. He was getting hit at the line. You see today that Epps is getting a little bit of running room.
And we've only seen him one time really get hit behind the line of scrimmage, Ricky. Now he's getting the first initial contact while he's leaning forward, gaining yardage. Hand off inside, goes to Epps, leaps over the tackle, powers his way past the 10 down to around the 6-yard line.
Remember now, though.
Just made a massive mistake. They'll take the penalty. Unsportsmanlike conduct marches him back 15 yards. Now Bigham brings him up. Ortiz is in motion. Ortiz on the keeper. Run out of the 14-yard line. Stopping the clock.
8 yards. Right. They needed. That was a good play on his part to get out of bounds. That was a little bit of different run than normally you see him running out of the gun. This time he faked the lead and just followed. I don't know if you could tell, but he was basically with his hand. He had his hand on the running back's back.
Well, I tell you what, Ortiz is probably going to get a talking to when he gets in the huddle. JP's probably going to say, you know, hey, Jesus, you're going to need to get out there because he almost ran right up the back of Ortiz trying to lead that block. Here we go, 59 seconds to go, 19-15, Mineola, inside handoff, over tackle, breaks the tackle, down to the 6-yard line.
And Roderick is now the happy man on the Yellow Jacket side.
Well, Bigham is trying to get up to the line. He's looking at the clock. The clock is stopped at 54 as they'll move the chains. Now the 1st and goal from the 5.
And the Indians are going to call a timeout. If you remember in high school football,
Yellow Jackets with a 19-15 lead. 1st and goal from the 6 with 54 ticks left on the clock. Interesting lineup in the backfield. Hand off, first man through down to the 2-yard line is Epps.
They're going to feed him the next 48 seconds.
They're going to let this big Roosevelt Leagues High School kid just carry this ball into the end zone, probably. Coming in with the play is Toy James. James will come in. James wide out to the left side. Bigger breaks him out with 33 seconds to go. Takes the short snap count. Hands off to him. Follow him up. He's into the end zone. Touchdown.
That's what happens. You can set up a power running game.
Big up quarterback keeper, touchdown, Mineola.
F the pain, the guard.
Well, he fakes the handoff to big Alex Epps, who leads J.P. Bigham into the hole, and there is nobody happier in this stadium than Roderick Everett.
Exactly right. Roderick now will be off the hook until film. He'll be off the hook at halftime now.
Oh, I haven't seen him actually come off the field since that play, so he may be lucky thus far. He may be feeling comfortable because it's going to be easier now coming off the field, even though Coach Lawrence will obviously let him know what's going on, and you can guarantee Coach Curry will let him know.
You can, but I'm going to tell you one thing. Roderick, now in his third year at high school, is as classy kid as we have. He never says a word, just does his business. And every once in a while when a kid makes a mistake, they can get away with it.
The intensity. He'll drop back, they'll go for two. Bigham going up top, just out of the reach of Tuck. And now we'll line it up at 40 to kick off. A couple of updated scores for you at the half. Van 21, Wills Point 14. At the half, it's Edgewood 15-0 over Eustis. We'll give you some complete halftime scores. De Leon will pooch it, goes over the middle. Gets cut down at the 22-yard line. Holy Moses!
I'm not sure you can return that, but he did get it. But it's going to be brought back to the 44 because it was never touched. I believe they'll down it back here because it was never actually touched. You can't advance it unless it's touched. Or it was touched, you can't advance it.
It was touched.
It looked like from my vantage point it was touched, but I think it's treated like a muffed punt. You can't actually advance a muff. Right, I think then it's the other way. Since he touched it, you can't advance it.
Well, I'm sure that we will see Tuck probably on a fly pattern here, at least first or second down.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a little winded right now, so they may try to take their time getting to the line of scrimmage. But Tuck caught that ball in midair at the 44-yard line of Grand Saline and took off.
You got Larkin out on the right wideout. First time we've seen him all year as a wide receiver. Don't be surprised to see him throwing deep to the right side.
Bigham is behind center in the shotgun all by himself. He cranks it across the middle. Caught by Epps. 30-yard line down at the 28. And they'll try to get out. They will call. Actually, they'll have to kill the clock to move the chain. 17 seconds to go. The Yellow Jackets are going to try to score again.
That's an easy hot read right there. Nobody was over Epps. Yeah, it was a good read by Bigham.
Bigham calls it under center. He will spike the football and stop the clock at 15 seconds to go so they can call a play.
Yeah, as long as they can get a first down, they'll be able to run another play. Problem is, if they get anything that's in play, not a first down, the half's over, which kills it when you use timeouts on extra points.
Well, obviously, it's easy to look back now and think about some of the things that have gone wrong. But they're going to Larkin 25-15 too,
right.
Ricky. It's one thing you'll talk about positively at halftime is the team is playing good football right now, other than a few mistakes mentally.
That's a free play. Defense was offsides, I think.
Bigham goes down. Oh, wide open is Everett. He misses it. Overthrown by Bigham. Oh, goodness. Bigham is hurting himself right now as he had Roderick Everett wide open in the middle of the end zone.
Oh, yeah. Number 2 was running by himself. Anything shorter, it's a touchdown. I'm surprised the left defensive tackle fell across the line before the snap. I was waiting for a free play there, but they didn't. I guess he didn't. I guess he was lined up too far off when he jumped.
Well, fortunately, I guess for the Yellow Jackets, on the incompletion, the clock is stopped with 11 seconds to go. Coach Lawrence on the field to give the play call. Larkin split out wide to the right. Everett's in the slide on the left side. Bigham takes it back. He's going to just take it up the middle and get Plummel. No, he breaks loose. 30, 25, 50. Comes outside now. It's tripped over the 15-yard line.
And it's a first down, yet the clock ran from 3 to 1.
There's no way they'll get another playoff as the clock will stop with 1 second to go. If they're going to snap the ball, they've got to run a play.
They got to run a play.
As they'll get out of the way as quick as they possibly can. Bigham will
They're
set
not
up.
going to get it off. They're not ready.
They've got to get lined up. As they'll wind the clock, snap the ball, Bigham will just throw it up for grabs. In the end zone, tipped back and intercepted, but they'll call the play dead as they can't get the ball off.
You're right.
Well, a dramatic way to end the first half. Well, Grand Saline will kick off to start the second half. Aaron Bryant down at the sideline. Dusty Swope here taking care of our numbers. Kenny Smith, as we're getting the second half started a little bit late. We're 10 after 9 right now. And Grand Saline waiting for the whistle. Bigham and Everett back to receive the second half kickoff. Kick is up. It'll be taken by Everett at the 11. Got a pretty good wall coming to the right side. He'll cut right into the pursuit. He breaks the tackle.
Up to the 30.
Still on his feet.
Goes to the 32.
And crosses the 30 down around the 32, 33-yard line.
34-yard.
And Everett ran right into the pursuit as he left his blockers and somehow came out of a mass of Grand Saline Indians, stayed on his feet, and picked up another 6 yards back to around. They're going to mark him actually down at the 34-yard line. They gave him all the fall forward.
That's something we've seen all night from these Mineola runners as well, not just Everett, but also their quarterback as well. And they just don't stop running. They keep those feet going, and that just shows a lot of heart and determination right there.
Mineola will start 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. Bigham in the shotgun, hands off to Everett. Everett's got nowhere to go. He's going to get wrapped up by a great defense, and the Grand Saline Indians will stop him for about a 1, maybe a 2-yard loss as Everett gets a carry. Troy Carroll is in there initially on the tackle, and they will actually get him just back to the line of scrimmage. It'll set up a 2nd and 10. 11:28 to go as the Yellow Jackets led in the first quarter, going into the second quarter, and also at the half. Bigham trying to get his receivers up. Epps will come back out from a slot left. Will stand just to the left. Bigham throws it down to the dirt. The ball is dead. The ball looks like it's gone forward. But they're going to say it was a lateral. Grand Saline has recovered the incomplete pass by J.P. Bigham.
There is a flag down there, though, Kenny, so let's see what it is. It might be on Grand Saline. I can't tell from what it is, but by the looks of the Grand Saline coaches, it may be on Mineola. I don't know if somebody wasn't set or they didn't have enough men on the line.
Bigham took the snap in the shotgun, was trying a little flare out. It's going to be a legal motion against the Yellow Jackets. So that will nullify the play. The play will stand, actually. And Bigham actually threw it, what looked like from our angle, it looked like a parallel, maybe even a forward pass. But the ball hit the ground and bounced and hit Larkin. And evidently Larkin was expecting it to be an incomplete pass, did not go after it. The Grand Saline Indians were a little bit more on top of the play and recovered it for the second turnover of the game. Hammersley will hand off. Doherty will get smashed in the backfield, back at the 30-yard line. Back there is Moses Fuller once again, and Alex Epps back there as well. And also on defense, coming in a reserve role, is Danny Rizzola. The junior comes in to finish off the play and knock Doherty back for a 3-yard loss. Oh, a nice play by the Yellow Jacket defense. As Hammersley now with a 2nd and 13 from the Yellow Jacket 29-yard line. Hands off, second man through Doherty. Cuts inside, breaks the tackle, 25. But a magnificent run. Joseph Briggs, he's going to get in the end zone. My apologies, game. They've lost the front end of the pylons of the end zone. They're black on the inside, and we actually missed them. So Larkin almost saves the touchdown, but can't, as Doherty will go in from the 29-yard line. So the Grand Saline Indians will strike first here in the second half.
And they're going to, it looks like they're going to go for the field, the extra point, which is a good move. But it was a great cut there by Doherty. If he had kept going straight, there was no way to make it. He made a good move to get back to the inside as that kick just moves up, gets over the elbow. But a good move to the inside.
An independent bank committed to East Texas and the people we serve. Austin Bank, the gold star of Texas.
Austin Bank in Emory. Grand Saline will line up to kick off after the 29-yard touchdown run by Joseph Doherty. Pulls the Grand Saline Indians to within 3. They'll line up at the 40. Dickerson waiting for the whistle. This is about the third time they've had to wait on the official to actually get downfield and start the play off. Dickerson kicks it away. Everett takes it to 13.
body goes one way and your head goes another. That's not natural, obviously, and that's why that Everett's still down. But that was Fowler, the fullback. He just put a lick on him, and I mean, you could hear it. I mean, I'm listening to you call it, and I heard the lick over you.
Oh my gosh. Roderick Everett is getting attention from the training personnel from the Yellow Jackets, and Coach Lawrence was actually motioning for a trainer at the moment that impact took place. Coach Lawrence is pacing back and forth as the concern now with Roderick Everett. And as we're there tending to Everett, Aaron, it brings up the situation that we have in Lindale, as a lot of people may not have found out until today's paper. Shane Stark, Tyler Morning Telegraph, writing about the automobile accident that almost took the life of Clay Tapia. Roderick Everett's on his feet, and he's going to walk off under his own power. Wow.
That's a lot of heart right there. He's walking off, like you said, under his own power, but I guarantee you, his bell may not be rung, but I guarantee you, he's hurt.
Well, Everett, as you heard Ricky Stevens saying, this is a kid that has come a long way and is an absolutely spectacular young man. And they're looking for great things from him for the remainder of tonight and the remainder of this season. As Roderick Everett, very well-respected young man, and gets up under his own power, comes off, and he is standing. He's a little mad at himself as the second turnover now here in the third quarter. Grant sets up Grand Saline. Pitch back will go to Fowler. Is Fowler now in their ball game? Here's a kid who's coming back from a concussion last week, as Corey Fowler, who had to come in Hammersley's stead at quarterback, started at quarterback the first 2 weeks, and Fowler sustained a mild concussion just a week ago, and now comes into the ball game tonight, gets his first carry of the night. Coach Carpenter had told me earlier today that Fowler will probably dress, but we don't know if he will play or not. He gets a carry. He gets stopped for a 2-yard loss. But Fowler in the ball game also, coming off a concussion, so the Indians showing an awful lot of heart here. Second and 13. Man in motion is Johnson. Comes near side. Hand off to Carroll. Trap play inside. Will get taken down after about a 4-yard gain down to the 22-yard line. Started off first and 10 Grand Saline after the fumbled kick return by Roderick Everett. Second fumble in just less than 3 minutes in the second half.
Well, there's a correction on that tackle from the kickoff. That was Carroll, actually, not Fowler, but it was Carroll that made the hit.
Well, here we go with 9:08 to go in the third quarter. 3rd and 8. Grand Saline, Hammersley under center, drops back. He's going to go a little fly pattern inside. Jackets put those C's down at the wall.
That's a great adjustment by Johnson, because Tuck had actually fallen. He had the inside position, but as Tuck fell, Johnson was able to get inside of him and make that catch.
Well, Dylan Johnson gets inside the defender, and Hammersley throws a strike to him, and Dylan Johnson with a couple of key catches tonight, and puts the Grand Saline Indians in a situation where they could take the lead. A yard away, turn around, hand off. Yellow Jackets might stop him. Second effort does not get him in, as neither official says that he has made it. So a great defensive stop at the line of scrimmage, at the goal line. And coming up, holding his right arm, and I don't even have a... I'm looking at it, I'm not sure if it's 53 or 58. I think it's Manuel Dominguez, who's holding his right arm. Snap of the ball. Hammersley's going to throw it. Goes to the end zone. Goes up out of the reach of the intended receiver. His twin brother Clint was at the back of the end zone, heading towards the back corner, and he overthrows Clint by about a foot.
That is 58 that's holding his arm, and I think Epps may be coming in for him right now. No, they're sending somebody else off instead.
Well, Dominguez came out of the last play holding his right arm, and he was in some pain, and he continues to hold his right wrist. He is a down lineman playing defensive tackle right in front of Jerron Cood at 2:15. Handoff goes inside, in for the touchdown. The Grand Saline Indians have scored 2 touchdowns now in the last 4 minutes plus. Doherty goes in from 2 yards. yards out. Dickerson will try for the point after, puts up the kick, and just clears the crossbar by a few yards. I think there's been a loss of confidence. I think he's still trying to recover from the smash a while ago by Adam Carroll. Larkin will take the kickoff at the 17-yard line. Comes straight up the middle, breaks outside to the 20, 25. The ball out of bounds. Oh my! Larkin actually just let the ball go as he crossed the 35-yard line and almost lost the fumble again.
Well, it looked like you, from where I'm standing, I know it's clear across the field at a 90-degree or 45-degree angle. I wasn't much on geometry, but it looked like he was trying to switch hands there, and as he did, it just slipped out.
Well, I think Barry Sanders was talking about how easily it is to switch hands because running backs, as they're moving from one side of the field to the other, you've got to keep the football against your body as you're switching from one hand to the other. Bigham sets up in the shotgun, fakes it to Larkin, will come right side, 35, 40, right up the middle, gets knocked down at the 47-yard line. As Dylan Johnson comes in from his cornerback position to lay a lick on Bigham, but not before about 14 yards up to the Mineola 47-yard line.
That's just another great deal of blocking by the receivers, and Epps, who was actually set up in the slot position on the 3 wide here on the bottom side of the field. He came down, did a little crackback, so to speak, on the defensive end that enabled for the nice run. And like you said, Johnson, even though it was 15-yard gain, he put a lick on him.
Yellow Jackets going left, right. Just laid a straight arm, stiff arm, and put Dylan Johnson to the turf in a dead run. Oh, Alex Epps with a huge run. Down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, that's just a straight down from what it looked like to me. And I mean, this was a hole. I mean, you could have drove, like they say, a Mack truck through, and that's exactly what it looked like. That's what Epps looked like when he hit that hole. He looked like a Mack truck that was not going to be stopped.
Well, Aaron, I've been wondering what it was going to take to get the Mineola Yellow Jacket fans into this ballgame. Epps just did so. Hand out there, breaks outside, breaks the tackle, down around the 3-yard line. I thought he broke the last tackle and leaned into the end zone, but he got tripped up at the 2. Alex Epps is showing everybody here the reason that he gets the ball when it gets down inside the 10-yard line. Epps is not only a hard guy to bring down, Alex Epps has a desire to get across that goal line.
And it's not just that. I mean, on that run right there, it looked like he was going straight. He's got some quick feet for a bigger back.
Well, he's taking a little rest while the plays being called. He takes the handout, rolls it down around the 2-yard line. Second effort, he's in for the touchdown. I'm telling you, up until the point of the ball, he comes out of his stance, and he was trapped
half his body back on the game.
I thought you were sitting up there.
No, I wasn't sitting there, but I think I found the hole underneath this rubber mat that they put here for a purpose. So I'm okay, but that was a nice run.
Well, J.P. Bigham goes in for the 2-point conversion. It's Mineola 33, Grand Saline 29. We got a ball game. 6:34 to go in the third quarter. We'll come back to Meredith Memorial Stadium next on 99.9 K-Move.
Stop into your local Sears store in Mineola and see what Absolute Zero feels like. Yes.
I think we'll just probably be able to work out a whole highlight reel of the third quarter between Mineola and Grand Saline 2004. It is 6:34 to go in the third quarter. We've seen 3 touchdowns in less than 6 minutes of play in the third quarter. Boots kick from De Leon. He'll kick it short. It'll be taken at the 23-yard line and slipped down by Doherty at the 22. He actually tripped over the 25-yard line.
Well, it's a good thing this is radio, because I guarantee you, if this was video and you had anything on me, Kenny, I think you'd have something on me for quite a long time.
Well, for those that didn't catch that, at the extra point, Aaron was trying to get out of the way. He was backing up and fell into the drainage grate out here, and evidently found a hole that the mat behind the drainage grate was trying to cover up. He's fine. He's all intact. He doesn't have any mud on him or anything, but he's probably going to smell bad by the end of the game.
You can bet on that.
Well, we got a timeout on the field as now Coach Greg Carpenter for the Grand Saline Indians will call a timeout. Both teams will come to their respective sidelines. We will update you once again on the scores that we have thus far. Most of these halftime scores, one third quarter score to give to you right now. These once again halftime scores as we know them. Overton over Alba Golden 33-12. Winsboro beating Roy City 14-0. Wills Point trailing Van. The Vandals up 21-14 at the half. Gilmer with a 14-0 lead over Lindale. That is still a first quarter score. We do not have an updated score, Gilmer and Lindale. Canton with a 35-6 lead over Sabine at the half. Como-Picton 20, Harmony 19. Once again, Edgewood 21-0 over Eustis in the third quarter. Quitman had a 41-6 lead over Frankston at the half. And halftime score in Emory, a 21-12 lead. Wills Point beating Rains 21-12. There, our score here. Yellow Jackets 33, Grand Saline 29. Hammersley brings him up 26-yard line. Takes a snap, rolls back, almost gets sacked in the back. Hammersley will go deep down the middle. Like a little backside comeback route as Hammersley got away from the defense, had enough time to collect himself and throw, but Kincaid came in with another. Week after week, this kid's making plays.
There's no doubt about that. Kincaid came seemingly out of nowhere, came from behind, and was not only able to get the ball, but he was also able to get the hand too. So that's even doubly most effective, or more effective, is the fact that not only are you able to get the ball, but if you hit his hand at the same time, you enable him to also keep from being able to make the most out of the catch.
You bet. Backfield, Hammersley turns around, hands off, trap play Doherty once again, big run crossing the 30 up to the 33-yard line. As coming in, Fuller making the initial contact. Also coming in making the play is Louis De Leon. Comes in to clean house along with Philip Hughes. After a gain of 7, it'll be a sack. It'll be set up a 3rd and 3 now for Grand Saline. Down by 4 with less than 6 minutes to go now in the third quarter.
Probably see a big play here for the Indians. You want to get this third down play. I know they've had a lot of success running. Maybe even look to give it to their fullback if they don't give it straight to Doherty.
3rd and 3. Hammersley. Set up Johnson in the slot. Hands off. No, he'll keep the. No, he'll hand off. First man through. Hammersley. Pretty good fake. Fake the rest of us out. Actually, me anyway, way up here. He'll hand off first man through. He'll pick up about 2. I'm going to see if it's Carroll. It's going to be Troy Carroll with the carry. He'll be short of the third down. We may see our first punt of the night. We have yet to see either team attempt a punt. This may be the first time tonight. They will drop. No, I'm sorry. We did have a punt in the first half. Thank you, Dusty. I appreciate that. J.P. Bigham comes back out. He will stand at his own 32-yard line to collect this punt by Troy Carroll. Carroll will be standing high snap. He'll take it down. Gets off the kick. Just does get off. It's a short punt. Hits at the 47-yard line. Takes a Grand Saline roll again. All the way down to the 37-yard line. So 1st and 10, J.P. Bigham and the rest of the Mineola Yellow Jackets. Second half scoring, coming out fired up with a minute and a half to go. They took advantage of 2 fumbles as Joseph Doherty and the Grand Saline Indians, they scored twice in the first on a 29-yard run by Doherty and a spectacular display of running ability. Gets to the corner of the end zone. They score the extra point. They get to within 3 at 25-22. Then they score a minute and a half later after taking advantage of a Roderick Everett fumble on the ensuing kickoff. They go up 29-25 before the Yellow Jackets get the 8-point score. Bigham takes a snap. He will just run it right side. He cannot get through. I think this is an assignment because he gets caught flat good, and as Bigham is running by him, and now he's getting a jawing from Coach Lorenz as Bigham just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage after getting popped by a couple of Indians.
Well, and it looked like Henderson also came from the inside, and I think Grand Saline is starting to recognize this play. It has been run quite frequently, but it's also been run for a lot of success. This may be one of the few times that they've actually stopped it. And if Grand Saline can continue to stop that particular play, then it might actually open up something on the backside for Mineola.
2nd and 10. Bigham sets up under center. Long pitch. It'll go back out to Everett. Everett left inside the block and can't get much running room, so he'll get pulled down after maybe one pickup of 1 or 2. And a good block on the outside by Danny Rizzola, as Rizzola gets way outside to try to clear the way for Everett. Everett saw the block to the outside, went ahead and tried to cut in, but had no more help inside.
Johnson did a good job there by taking on that lead blocker, got low, and actually he may have forced his own blocker into the runner.
Wide to the left side. Larkin actually gets the... And there's nowhere to run. As something happens on that play, as Larkin ends up getting the snap and just tries to take it up the middle, but there's actually just nowhere to go.
Well, Bigham came off the field just before that play, so that's why he was actually behind center, or in the shotgun behind center. So it looks like that Bigham's trying to walk something off. I don't know if it's an ankle or something. Maybe he's getting a little bit of cramping issue because it is pretty humid down here. Haven't seen anybody really stretch him out yet, but it looks like he's trying to walk something out.
The timeout on the field on the 4th and 10. They're going to have to drop back before they call the timeout. Timeout on the field. 2:53 close.
Call your local Jamaica agent today.
So when you want things in life, trust your or the name of the Gervais Insurance. Gets a pretty good kickoff, and Epps with his very first punt of the night, a 31-yard punt straight up in the air, taken fair catch by Dylan Johnson. And that'll set up Grand Saline 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. 2:47 to go in the third quarter. As we're Grand Saline Mineola weekend, long running rivalry. Set up wide to the left side. Hammersley turns around, straight drop back, will roll to his right. A little short dump off to Dylan Johnson. He will drop it actually to Hammersley. As Hammersley will drop a little short pass. Pass was only going to be good for about a 4-yard gain had he put his hands on it, but was unable to pull it in. Dallas Wheeler was set up wide to the left side. Looked like Hammersley may have been going towards him as far as a fly pattern concerned, but was a decoy instead, as Hammersley never looked his way. Turned wide to the right, or wide to the left, Justin Jones. Matthew Johnson set up in the slot. Hammersley now under. Turns around, pitch back to Doherty. Doherty cuts it inside. 35 down around the 36-yard line. Well, these numbers are getting harder and harder to keep up with. I think it's actually Carroll on the carry. It is Doherty with the carry. Doherty will pick up 2. It may give him a yard and a half, maybe 2 yards. So that'll set up a 3rd and 8. As PA announcer David Stevenson cannot read the scoreboard correctly, as it's obviously 3rd and 8 and not 3rd and 9. Now he makes the scorekeeper change it. You know those guys. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Hammersley, straight drop back, looking upfield, going deep down the sideline, a perfect spiral, but throwing it out of bounds, and a little bit of contact on the opposite side of the field, but well out of bounds is the throw, as he was looking for a fly pattern, as Dylan Johnson was just simply going for it all, and Hammersley was throwing it up there for grabs.
Well, there was a penalty right at the snap of the ball, so we'll just have to see what it is. It looks like Grand Saline, well, it looks like they're about to march it off, so maybe somebody was lined up offsides.
They mark it off against the Yellow Jackets. It will give up 5 yards. Updated score in the third quarter. After 3 quarters. Going into the fourth quarter, the Range Wildcats have closed in on White Oak 21-18. 3-point lead for the White Oak Roughnecks. 21-18 there. Updated score once again after 3. 41-6. Quitman over Frankston. We'll update your scores here in a moment. Hammersley gets hit as he delivers.
they do play action right there. It was just enough for Johnson to get past him, and it was just a simple slant. I mean, it looked like it was about a 5, maybe a 7-yard slant or a quick post, whatever you want to call it. But it was just enough to get the safety to jump in, and as soon as he did, it gave just enough room for Johnson to get behind. Perfect pass, and once he got behind him, Johnson was not going to get caught.
Well, it has quieted this Mineola crowd as the Indians have taken the lead back. Snap is fumbled on the extra point. Hammersley is just going to pick it up. He's going to throw it into the end. It's down incomplete as Stevenson will knock it out of the hands of Doherty. And the 2-point conversion, which started off as an extra point conversion, is no good. Now the lead is 35-33 Grand Saline with a minute 46 to go in the third quarter. We'll come back. Meredith Memorial Stadium next on 99.9 K-Move.
Do you have questions about all the changes to Medicare and the new Medicare-endorsed drug discount cards? Medicine Chest Pharmacy, Mineola.
2-point lead over the Mineola Yellow Jackets. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Kenny.
Yes, sir.
On that play, Stevenson probably made the correct play by just knocking it down. But had he maybe tried a little bit, I mean, it's no loss if he doesn't catch it. But if he tries to catch it and gets his hands on it, he's probably gone. And it's if he gets that ball and takes it the other way, that's 2 points for Mineola. It could have been a tie ball game, but actually probably made the smart play by just knocking it down.
You bet. Dickerson will kick it. It will come to the right side. It'll be taken by Everett. Everett gets a little running room and actually runs right at the back of his own man. And boy, did he have a head of steam on the way. Cross the 30. They'll mark him down at the 33-yard line. But boy, he was off to the races. So 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets from their own 34-yard line. After 3 quarters, Edgewood 21-6 over Eustis right now. And at the end of 3, once again, the Canton and Sabine stays at 35-6 after 3. We had a fantastic football game, 7-6 after 1 quarter, with the Yellow Jackets holding the slim lead. It was 25-15 at the half. Inside 35, brings the tackle 40. 45, midfield. Gets caught out of bounds and swung out. Well out of bounds. Inside Grand Saline territory. Coach Lawrence is livid. He wants a late flag as he goes to the official because Bigham was actually slung out of bounds just as he entered Grand Saline territory, and we've got a Grand Saline Indian down back at the 35-yard line. Looks like a little cramp. Our first cramp of the night, looks like. But I'm not sure the training personnel are not stretching the player out, but they're working on him right now. But back to the Bigham play, as I think Coach Lawrence and the official got together. The official said Bigham ran out of bounds at the 48, but in the continuance, the defender was off balance and actually slung Bigham out of bounds. It didn't look like from our angle, Aaron, that it was intentional by any means.
No, it was nothing malicious. I think, like you said, the defensive player was trying to get to him, and as he did, he was off balance when he got him. And then when he was able to get him, it threw Bigham actually off balance, and Bigham actually took 3 or 4 steps after being hit before he ever really fell. And there's just a little bit of a decline right here, and he may have hit that decline, may have just stumbled. But like you said, nothing malicious. And I think the officials explained that to him, and Coach Lawrence took it with stride, and he was like, okay, and he starts talking about the next play.
Well, the injured Grand Saline Indian looks like Heath Holly, number 64. He will jog off the field under his own power. And thank goodness, everyone that we've seen go down tonight has gotten up and left the field under their own power. That's a good thing. J.P. Bigham with Alex Epps in the backfield, on one knee once again. Epps and Everett back behind Phillip Hughes. Set up at the tight end. Turnaround, hands off to Epps. Epps breaks the tackle, stays on his feet, gets the football down around the 46-yard line. Another couple of hard yards for Alex Epps. Coming off now is going to be Troy James. James getting some substantial playing time tonight. Not a part of the depth chart even, as far as 1 or 2 on the receiver corps.
Well, it looks like whenever they get in that tight formation, they're almost going to like a thunder and lightning type deal like the Giants used to do. Epps is thunder, and Bigham is lightning.
Well, a hard rush on Bigham. Bigham's got to get out of the reach of the defense. Turns it upfield and will run out of bounds at around the 43-yard line. If Bigham had nowhere to go, the offensive line linebacker as Bigham had trip receivers off to the right, duels on the left side. Epps came back inside from the slot position to block, but Bigham didn't even have time to look up and see if anybody was open. As on the 2nd and 9 play, he picks up 2 on the carry, gets run out of bounds at the 45-yard line of Grand Saline, so it'll set up a 3rd and 7 now for Mineola. 47 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Yellow Jackets down by 2. Bigham sets Roderick Everett in motion, and flags will go down as somebody is moving. And it'll be a legal procedure against the Mineola Yellow Jackets, and they'll back them up 5.
It looked like it was the right tackle there that moved just a bit right before the wing back, or however you want to call it, little back on the end that's offset. Looked like he moved right at the same time, so obviously the tackle can't move.
Well, they back him up 5 yards on the penalty. And backing him up 5 will push the 3rd and 7 to a 3rd and 12 now from midfield. Philip Hughes wide to the right side. Roderick Everett in the slot. Epps, the 3rd one. They'll try the flare-out pass to Epps. He's got a little bit of running room. Closing in quick is the Grand Saline defense. And Epps will only pick up about 4 yards on the reception.
Well, if you can have a fullback screen, that's exactly what it looked like with Epps being in that slot position. They had
2 seconds to go. 16, clock continues to run down. And now play has been stopped. As the officials are talking things over, and now Philip Hughes will come to the sideline. It's 4th and 7 right now.
Third quarter play into the 3rd quarter. The score is 33.
Grand Saline after 3. We're going to the 4th quarter. Coming up 3. The Grand Saline Indians. Back in punt position. Epps is going to take his time, and he kicks a huge punt. Roll it out of bounds. Alex Epps with a fabulous punt as it will roll out of bounds at around the 3 points.
Hey Kenny, with the game being tight like it is going into the 4th quarter here, this could become a game of field position. Whoever has the best field position throughout this 4th quarter and minimizes their mistakes will probably be the winner of this game.
Grand Saline takes over, 1st and 10. Hammersley turns around, hands off. Doherty's going to get wide. 10. Crosses the 20, 23-yard line. If he pulled out of bounds, knocked out of bounds at the 24. So Doherty gives him plenty of running room right there as he will pick up 13 yards on the carry.
Push out of bounds to number 5, Kincaid.
Looking at what's going on as far as the rest of the district and the rest of the games going on, we'll have some final scores for you. Our game obviously running pretty late as the 4th quarter just getting underway, and we're at about 10 minutes until 10 o'clock, and one final already with Edgewood over Eustis, 27-6. Grand Saline 1st and 10 on their own 24-yard line. Hammersley turned around, hand off Doherty, straight up the middle again. Running hard, crossing 30, picking up big yardage. As once again, Doherty will keep it on the ground to try to turn things up and try to waste a little bit of this clock. As it's obviously not what the Mineola Yellow Jackets want, but Grand Saline now in control of this football game. And it's hard, you just don't like looking back there, Aaron, but obviously doing what we do, it is very easy to look back at those 2 extra point misses by De Leon in the first half.
No doubt.
Hammersley, 2nd and 2, drops back, he'll hand off, second man through Doherty, gets the yardage, crossing the 35, can't get out of the grasp with the defense of Philip Hughes. Hughes and De Leon pulling him down at around the 37-yard line. They'll mark it down right there at the 37. It's enough for another 1st down for Grand Saline.
Those last 2 carries were actually by number 12. I don't have my sheet with me, but
Troy Carroll.
Okay. Carroll was actually the one that had the last 2 carries for Grand Saline. But just like Doherty, though, they both run a little bit high, which you don't normally like to see. A little bit more upright, but it's amazing for guys that are as tall as they are, probably both around 6'1" or 6'2". When it comes to the point of contact, they get their pads down low very quickly.
Well, Troy Carroll on the last 2 carries, 1st and 10, Grand Saline. Hammersley turns around, pitches back to Doherty this time, crossing the 40, and he'll get down just around the 42-yard line as he will slip down there. Grand Saline, I tell all the credit's got to go to the coaching staff. I'm telling you, players are playing hard. But, Aaron, we saw this team 2 weeks ago, and this team was not ready to play 2 weeks ago when we saw them against Van. They ran out of gas in the third quarter. Coach Carpenter did not make any excuses. He said, you know what, we're not ready to play. Van's a good football team. We got kind of tired. We got some cramps. He said, we weren't ready.
And you can definitely tell the difference in tonight. They have a little bit more of a spark when they even just come out of the huddle. You can see a little bit more of a purpose. You can see a little bit more fire in their eyes and in their step. And when you have that, it makes the plays just break off that much crisper. You get better execution, and you minimize mistakes. And something that we saw in the first half of the first game when we talked to Coach Carpenter, and we asked him, what's one of the big things you want to take care of? And he said, of course, execution, take care of the ball. That's something they didn't do there, and that's something they have done so far this half.
Well, it's a 10-yard holding penalty on Grand Saline. Doherty gets the call. I think the ball is loose. We see a beanbag come out, but obviously no excitement from the orange and white. Well, actually, they're indicating right now that it's Mineola football. Mineola is anyway. They'll get the foul out. Mineola's got the football. Oh, what a break. What a break for the Yellow Jackets. As their fans now come to their feet and looking at what's going on the field, Grand Saline just looked like Doherty just literally dropped the ball.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, and it's tough to say what happens when you get stacked up in a pile like that. It looked like his momentum may have been stopped, but he was still fighting, and of course, if you're fighting, the officials are going to let it keep going. And when you're fighting for it, sometimes your hand on the ball gets a little slick, and that may be what happened. But give Mineola credit for, after they stopped him, for trying to pull that ball out. It looks like it succeeded.
Well, the fumble comes at the 10-minute mark of the ball game and puts Mineola in position at the 32-yard line of Grand Saline. Bigham fakes a handoff. He'll keep it, but he gets pulled down from behind. He never got a chance to get that run going as Alex Epps took the fake and led Bigham through the hole. Bigham never made it, though. He will get pulled down for about a yard gain. 2nd and 9 now for the Yellow Jackets at the Grand Saline 30-yard line. The second half has been a scoring half for Grand Saline as they picked up 21 points on 3 touchdown runs. 2 touchdown runs by Doherty. He's got 3 on the night, and a spectacular 59-yard bomb from Hammersley to Johnson. Up the middle it will go again for the Yellow Jackets as they are just trying to work it inside. Alex Epps with the carry. Bigham will come to the sideline with William Kincaid. He will give him the play call as they'll come back out onto the field. Clock continues to roll. 9 minutes to go in this ball game. 35-33 Grand Saline. Next week, we'll be heading to Brownsboro and following these Mineola Yellow Jackets to Brownsboro to take on the Bears. 3rd and 6, man in motion. Bigham fakes the reverse. He's trying to get away. Throws it into the jaws of Alex Epps, and he drops it. Oh, bless his heart. Right at the first down marker, and Alex Epps drops the pass.
And as hard as we've seen him run tonight, Kenny, if he holds onto that ball, I don't know if anybody from Grand Saline stops him from getting in the end zone. I mean, he only had 1 or 2 guys behind him, and one of them was standing over here by me, and I guarantee you, I had as good a chance to tackle the guy as he did.
Well, on the 4th and 6, Mineola will go for it from the Grand Saline 26-yard line. Bigham in the shotgun, got dual receivers both sides. 4th and 6, here's the play. Bigham gets away from the rush, still looking to throw. He gives it away, throws it to the end zone. Bigham throws it a little short for Roderick Everett, and the Grand Saline Indians will take over. Well, the pass, actually, Roderick Everett was wide open in the end zone, and Bigham just threw it a little back in the end zone. Thank you, Dustin.
Well, Bigham, it looked like he was right there at the line of scrimmage. I don't know how close he was, but it looked like he was getting awful close to that line of scrimmage before he threw. But like you said, just a hair underthrown. But give Ortiz a lot of credit. He tried to get his arms underneath, just couldn't slip through, and it just squirted out.
Final score, Quitman 48, Frankston 6. One of 2 finals we have already. Hammersley will take over now. Takes the snap, he will just roll to his left and he'll keep it. Crosses the line of scrimmage, get pulled down at around the 28-yard line, 27. Well, after the fumble recovery, the Yellow Jackets can do nothing with it. The Grand Saline Indians with a 35-33 lead over Mineola. 2nd and 7. Mineola band trying to get the crowd a little juiced up. Hammersley very confidently takes a snap, pulled down in the backfield. Great pursuit back there. William Kincaid comes back in the backfield to help out Louis DeLeon. And Moses Fuller back there. My apologies, not Fuller. I want to give credit where credit's due. Danny Rizzola back there to finish things off as a good team tackle back in the backfield for a loss of about 4. And the 2nd and 7 turns into a 3rd and 12 now. Doherty will lose 5 on the carry, back to the 25-yard line. Coach Lawrence continues to pace as he will just take off and walk all by himself down around the 5-10-yard line or so. Timeout on the field is going to be called by the Grand Saline Indians. We'll come back. Our Best of East Texas High School football continues. 4th quarter, 7:17 to go. We'll come back on 99.9 KMOO. 1-6. We're back at Meredith Memorial Stadium. It is 3rd and 12. Grand Saline, Hammersley, the man under. Takes a snap. He'll roll to his left. Got a little bit of time. Continues to roll. He'll keep it. Past the first down marker. So first down yardage for the Grand Saline Indians. They will make it by maybe a yard. Great smart play by starting quarterback Clay Hammersley, who worked his way back after taking the first 2 weeks of the regular season off and about the last week of preseason because of a bum knee. He comes back tonight and has absolutely electrified the Grand Saline football team right now into a 35-33 lead over Mineola with 7:08 to go in this ball game. And Johnson in the ball game. Brother Dillon split out wide to the left. Hammersley taking his time, calling the signals. Turns around, hands off, second man through. It's going to be Doherty. He'll cross at 35, and that's about it. He might even lose one. As pulled down by Stephen Perez. As Alex Epps comes off the bottom of that pile, as does DeLeon. Actually, it's Troy Carroll with the carry. Well, it's just hard to see between a 2 and a 9 on these football players.
And it's tough down here too, Kenny.
Well, 2nd and 11. Game has taken a complete turn. It was 25-15 Mineola at the end of the half. Grand Saline comes out and scores twice in 4 minutes. The second half. Handoff going to go to Doherty this time. He's going to get strung out wide, and the Mineola defense is going to thwart this one. Moses Fuller all the way out to the sideline at around the 30-yard line, and Doherty has to dive forward to pick up to get 2 more yards to keep from that being a huge loss. He'll lose 5 on the play. All the way back to the 32-yard line. So it is 3rd and forever. Doherty with that last carry. As Kincaid comes in to play a little tighter, Hammersley takes a snap, fakes a handoff, straight drop back, gets hit as he throws. Ball is almost intercepted. Hit it out of the hands of Philip Hughes. As I think Hughes may have heard the footsteps of Dylan Johnson coming in right in front of him.
That was, like you said, Dylan Johnson. He forgot all about trying to catch the football. He knew the best thing he could do is try and break it up. He turned from wide receiver to defensive back in about 2 steps there and did a great job.
Well, Hammersley got hammered just as soon as he let go of that football. And the Yellow Jackets now have set up their own defensive stand. Roderick Everett back at his own 30, waiting to take the punt. Snap goes back. Punt is way up high. It takes a Grand Saline bounce at the 40, now turns, goes back across the 40, and it'll be pulled dead by the Indians at the 41-yard line of Mineola. Yellow Jackets are trying to come out fired up as they are down by 2. The Grand Saline Indians have made such a huge turnaround week 3 from week 1. Coach Greg Carpenter said before the season started, you know what, Kenny, I just needed another 2 weeks. With the coaching change from Coach Davey Dubose to Coach Coach Greg Carpenter, he did not have as much time to prepare this team as he wanted to, but they have made some great strides today. Inside handoff is going to go to Epps, and Epps is going to go nowhere. Grand Saline Indians will stop him for maybe a yard, maybe no gain.
I don't know about you, Kenny, but as much success as they had with the 4 and 5 wide that they had in the first half, and even in the third quarter, I don't want to say that they've abandoned it, because here they come with it now, but they've had a lot of success spreading out that defense and might find a few more holes with the running game.
Sophomore Chris Tuck comes out wide to the right side. Baker comes out, no in the throw. He's rushed out of the pocket quickly. Back across the field to the left. Epps gets hit, breaks the tackle. Gets pulled off. He breaks the play.
Majority is one that did Epps, but you might as well have been hitting the front roll when he bounced off of him, but gives her some credit as well. He stuck with it, actually stayed around his legs. He was able to, like you said, bulldog it and hold it down long enough for some other guys to come down and help him out.
Epps gets the catch on the pickup pass. And they're going to say Grand Saline giving the late face pass. First and 10 Yellow Jackets from the Grand Saline 49-yard line. Kincaid comes in the ballgame, split out wide to the left side. Everett is in the slot on the left. Bigham under center. Everett in motion, gets there. Takes the handoff.
Quarterback keeper up the middle, right side, 20-yard line. 15, first down, Mineola.
This kid is here. Trey Fisher will not be denied his yardage tonight.
Well, Kenny, I don't know if maybe the coaches are thinking along the same thing as what I was saying, but there you go. Last two plays, they opened up a little bit. They spread them out to the 4 or 5. They actually had 5 behind with him just under center. And gave a good fake and just took off up the middle like it was almost a quarterback draw, so to speak.
17 carries, 98 yards from J.P. Bigham has put Mineola in the situation to score here and take the lead. 4:15 to go. Bigham takes a snap. Comes in from his outside linebacker position on a blitz and pulls Bigham down out of even 39.
It looked like Tuck was also,
Ball brings up second 18 in from Yellow Jacket.
like you said, no time.
Ball on the Grand Saline 24-yard line.
8 yards on the carry. It's every motion took him in. Sure what the situation is. Once again, as they're talking some things over, I'm not real sure why they stopped play, but we do have an extra final to give you real quick. As the Van Vandals have beaten Wills Point 33-25 over Harmony of final. So the Yellow Jackets trying to get something going here after looking downfield.
as a spy on Epps is because the way that they have thrown Epps the ball in the middle of the field this last couple of drives, it was almost as if he was told, hey, wherever he goes, you go. He just stepped in front, like in a little zone, like I said. Got the interception, made a nice return.
Well, it was huge for Grand Saline there as Mineola was on the march in Grand Saline territory. It's a 35-33 lead for the Grand Saline Indians with 2:36 to go in this ball game. Both these football teams looking for their first victory of the year. Hammersley, hands off. First throw, and he's just absolutely exploded on by the Mineola defense. I'm not sure they had the initial pop. Kyle Ramish was back there at number 70 and just absolutely exploded onto Doherty.
Number 22 was there as well. It looked like they were popping him on the head as he came off the pile, so that may be some kind of indication of maybe he made the play as well.
Steven Perez in on that play also. You're going to regret forgetting your roster up here, aren't you, little man?
I know it. First I fall. That may be why I fell. Maybe I was just thrown off balance without my roster.
Grand Saline, they back up 2 yards after the good pop by the Mineola defense. 1:52 to go. Yellow Jackets looking to make a play and get the ball back. Grand Saline trying to hold on to the football. We've got a flag on the play way back in the defensive backfield. We've got to delay a game against Grand Saline. So the 5-yarder. I'll tell you what, the mistake, the fumbles, the interception now, obviously the other mistakes are really starting to mount up for the Mineola Yellow Jackets. 1:47 to go. And the Yellow Jackets down by 2. 35-33. And the Grand Saline Indians playing great football right now. Hammerson set him up in the eye. Contact by Phillip Hughes. Make that Luis De Leon. As De Leon tried to beat the snap count, made contact, and Grand Saline's going to get that 5 yards right back.
No matter how this game ends up, Kenny, this fourth quarter has been a total opposite of what we'd seen in the previous two. This is when you should be playing your best defense, and both teams have shown that. They played their best defense here in the fourth quarter when it matters most, and it has kept both Mineola in the game and has allowed Grand Saline to have a chance to milk the clock here.
The clock is stopped at 1:47 after they mark the penalty back off against the Yellow Jackets. It'll set up a 2nd and 12. Down on the sideline, and J.P. Bigham has separated himself from the rest of the bench and is kneeling on one knee down at the 47-yard line of Mineola, well back from the rest of his players and his coaching staff. This is a kid that's a great competitor, has literally made extraordinary strides in the last year. Turned into a great quarterback. Pitch back, and they go back to Carroll. Carroll will cross the 30. And down to around the 34-yard line. Like the spaghetti bowl. Because we can't tell the difference between Doherty and Carroll. There's a timeout on the field, 1:40 to go in this ball game. It'll set up a 3rd and 8 for Grand Saline from their own 38-yard line. When we come back, our Best of East Texas high school football continues on 99.9 KMOO.
Most Americans have some kind of pain. For example, some people have low back pain, chronic pain, headaches, arthritis pain. Indians, did you know that you can now get homemade fresh breakfast burritos at the Saline Soda Shop? Start your Indians off right with breakfast. The Saline Soda Shop in downtown Grand Saline. Proud Grand Saline Indians sponsor.
Grand field. See what the checker wants to do for you. Coach Franklin keeps the ball. 3-4-2, 53-28. See, Pittsburgh summer sprints are
Playing now at a Mineola Community Bank branch near you, the new Generations Gold account. Rated for everyone and exclusively at Mineola Community Bank. Starring discounts at hundreds of area merchants and restaurants like Country Boys, Dairy Queen.
Defeat for the Mineola Yellow Jackets after a spectacular effort. They had a few turnovers second half, cost them some points. And an absolutely ecstatic Grand Saline Indian sideline. Fans are all out on the field. And this is also a team that we saw have a lot of problems week one. They got their third head football coach in 3 years. After the Athon Casas and the Davy Dubose era of the last 2 consecutive years, Greg Carpenter comes in as a hopeful assistant to Davy Dubose. Dubose departs, and Carpenter gets the head coaching job. And in they come, struggling week one against Van in the broadcast that we had, and a team that was visibly not ready to play football, not because they were not prepared and they did not have good practices, but you can tell they were a little steam. They played a very good and very physical Van football team, but the improvement this team has made over the last 2 weeks after playing the Van Vandals and Canton Eagles to start the season out, and to see how they've come in and improved and played now against the Mineola Yellow Jackets, you can't feel anything but great warmth from the Grand Saline Indians tonight. 35-33 victors over the Mineola Yellow Jackets. On the other end of the field, Coach Sean Lawrence, obviously very proud of these boys and what they've accomplished thus far. They played a fantastic football game tonight. They did make some mistakes, as Grand Saline did. They did not come out on the top end of this. But Grand Saline is down celebrating as of right now. And taking a look at the celebrations going on in the field, and they're lovely. We'll cover some final stats for you here in just a mere moment. We're going to be talking to Coach Carpenter. Hopefully, Aaron, if it takes too much to really fight, if he doesn't really, Coach Carpenter was not in a good mood at halftime. So if just kind of feel him out if he wants to talk, that's just fine. We've got some other stuff to do here too. We'll run down the scoring update of the the scoring by Dylan Johnson, ended up scoring the touchdown that made the difference for the Grand Saline Indians. A 59-yard touchdown pass from Hammersley. Extra point was good. The two-point conversion was not good. My apologies. That put it at 35-33. That is where it stayed after the third quarter. Nobody scores in the fourth quarter. Dylan Johnson scoring in the third quarter. 2 touchdowns by Joseph Doherty. A 29-yard run with 10:30 to go in the third quarter. And about 2.5 minutes later, a 1-yard run put the Grand Saline Indians up by a score of 29-25. They let that lead go momentarily after the Alex Epps 2-yard run at the 6:34 mark in the third quarter. And then the Dylan Johnson bomb from 59 yards out scores the touchdown, does not need the extra point, and that is the difference. Let's go down here. Brian has got Greg Carpenter down on the field now. Let's find out what's up with the head coach now, the 35-33 victory.
Hey, Coach Carpenter, great game. Well, it was a tough second half. I know after the first half it was a little bit disappointing. What did you say to the guys there at halftime?
A little bit of everything. They got a butt chewing, and I don't know if they deserved it, but it woke them up, and they came out and they played a great second half. Never quit, never got their head down. It was a back and forth deal, and I'm super proud of them. They did a great job.
How tough was that fourth quarter going in up by 2, and just the fact that you know it was going to be, if anything went on like the last 2 quarters, were you going to have a heart attack right there on the sideline?
Yeah, because the last person that had the ball was going to score, and I was just hoping that the clock was going to run out, because I knew they had the ability to score at any given time, and we hadn't been stopping them all night. So if they scored, I just hope there was enough time for us to maybe go down. But we held them, and it was a good defensive stand, and then we had the ability to just run the clock out. It was a great win.
No disrespect to the other quarterbacks. Of course, we saw y'all first week against Van, but how much of a difference does Clay Hammersley make to this team under center?
It's super difference. I mean, he's just a senior, and he's a leader, and it's nothing on Corey. Corey's a great kid. He's just a sophomore. He does good things for us. But Clint's just got senior leadership, and the kids look up to him, and that's just experience, you know what I mean? That's something that everybody wants to have on the team, but hey, we lost him for a couple of weeks, and now we got him back, and we're sure proud to have him.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time. Congratulations on the first win of the year. Heart attack as it may have been. Great job, and good luck next week.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Coach Greg Carpenter picking up his first victory of the season, and as head coach, he will go to 1-2 on the season. Sean Lawrence and Mineola Yellow Jackets will fall to 0-3 on the season. We will come back. We will get a check of our stats. And our final tonight, once again, Grand Saline 35 and the Mineola Yellow Jackets 33. We'll be back, total some things up, and finish things up here at Meredith Memorial Stadium next on 99.9 KMOO. Stevens helping us out in the first half in the broadcast booth, and Richard Elson, my good friend at Pizza Hut in Mineola, the guy brought us a pizza, and he's brought us pizza before at halftime of most of the games that we've had here, and I just can't thank him enough because Richard is always willing to help us out. He helped us out with our Sports Hunters Roundtable last night, and would appreciate it greatly for those that enjoy the broadcast. So be darn sure and tell Richard you thank him so much, and we appreciate it. We're going to tell him probably later on as well. Looking at some stats to finish up the ball game, and final stats for Grand Saline. Indians with 216 total yards offense, 146 through the out. Hammersley 5 of 11 for 146 yards. His big target was Dylan Johnson tonight. 4 catches for 133 yards. Total rushing yards, 8 for 30 for Clay Hammersley on the ground. Joseph Doherty picks up 25 carries, 97 yards for a carry. The total had more carries than they ever did. We had 7 for 32 yards, but we had so much confusion tonight. I knew if he was carrying the ball, we decided to just forget it. Sam Dickerson, 1 carry for 7 yards, and Dylan Johnson, 1 carry for 6 yards also. 216 total yards in offense for the Grand Saline Indians. For the Yellow Jackets tonight, J.P. Bigham, 18 carries for 90 yards. Alex Epps, 13 carries, 77 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Epps tonight. Roderick Everett had 3 carries for 12 yards, 5 carries, 14 yards for Jonathan Largan. Ortiz with 2 carries for 8 yards and 1 carry for 5 yards for Laterick Douglas. Total of 312 yards total offense for the Yellow Jackets, 106 through the air. 4 of 12 was J.P. Bigham with a touchdown and also an interception tonight. His target, Epps, had 2 catches for 30 yards tonight. That'll wrap things up for us here from Meredith Memorial Stadium as we'll give you the rest of our finals that we have here. Our final score once again here, 35-33 Grand Saline over Mineola. White Oak over Rains. Final score now 28-18. Final score Van over Wills Point 35-21. All these finals, Can over Sabine 49-6. Cole-Picton beats Harmony 33-25. Edgewood over Eustis 27-6. And Quitman beats Frankston by a score of 48-6. That'll wrap things up for us here at Meredith Memorial Stadium. Gang, we appreciate you so much being a part of our broadcast tonight. For all of our sponsors who are a part of this one, we cannot thank you enough. We appreciate your participation and your support for high school athletics with our broadcast here at 99.9 KMOO. Join us next week as we're going to be heading off to Brownsboro, Texas. It's the Brownsboro Bears and the same Mineola Yellow Jackets looking for that first victory of the year for Charlotte Rance and the Yellow Jackets. From our producer Cindy Owens back at the studio, everybody that called in scores tonight, we thank you so much. Coaching staff, the administration here at Mineola High School and the Mineola ISD always of comfort. For Dusty Swope, Aaron Bryant, Ricky Stevens, and the staff at 99.9 KMOO, we appreciate you joining us. Our final score tonight, once again, the Grand Saline Indians 35 and the Mineola Yellow Jackets 33. Good night, everybody. You've been listening to a presentation of KMOO Radio Sports.